Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Clifton Johnson. I'm the founder and the executive director of the Empower series. So welcome. Thank you for spending a portion of your time and your life with us. You're going to be empowered today. I got a guest coming back for the second time, but before I introduce her to you, I want to give my gratitude to our sponsors. So Comerica Bank, thank you for being a long-term supporter. Also AE Media Group. We have a new supporter, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, and then also you for your generous donations of money, time, talent, volunteerism, all of the above. If you want to give to the Empower Series, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, you can go to our website, which is www.empowerseries.com. When you go there, there's a donate button in the top left-hand corner. You can also text, give, or donate to 214-225-6337. And also this week actually is North Texas Giving Day week on the 19th. So if you're not familiar with that, Google North Texas Giving Day. If there's any nonprofit that you have a flavor for, you can donate on that day, the 19th of September. So please give to nonprofit organizations. We're out there doing a lot of stuff with limited resources. So pick a nonprofit of your flavor and dedicate some time, volunteerism, or money or resources to them, increase their awareness. This month is actually Life Insurance Awareness Month, so I'm going to be driving to Houston tomorrow at the Houston Area Urban League to talk about life insurance, and then I'll be back here in Dallas on the 20th of September, the 21st. 20th, I'll be at the Meadows Conference Center, and then the Highland Hills Library talking about life insurance. And then also I'm partnering with another organization, Southern Dallas Progress, which is a community development corporation. We're going to be talking about solutions to food deserts, and we're going to talk about that on the 17th of September at the Highland Hills Library. So we're doing a lot of stuff this month. But all in all, last month, our theme was growth mindset. And you'll find that with every month, every program that we talk about, there's a mindset to be successful, whether it's your finances, whether it's any goal that you have in your life. And so last month we had Wendy Ida come, and she's a fitness expert. She was talking about growth mindset and how health is all about mindset. And also on that Friday we had a guest, Leiann Davis. So Leiann Davis is the fit icon, right? She's the host of the Lifestyle Zone, right. And she is back for the second time. So everybody, welcome our guest for the second time. You're the first second-time guest.
Oh, you know what? I feel very special. I'm very glad to be back. I'm excited.
There you go. So, well, we didn't have enough time. She had a lot to share. She has a lot more knowledge to share, and there's a ton of questions that people were asking us afterwards. So we're going to spend the time really talking about answering your questions and giving you the knowledge. So here at the Empower Series, here's what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. Every program we do, we give hope to give people the belief that you can achieve whatever vision you have. We're going to give you some inspiration to take action, because hope with no action doesn't get you anywhere. We're going to give you education so that you're taking the right action. And then we're going to connect you to some resources, because nothing of significance has ever been done alone. So those are the things we're doing: hope, inspiration, education, and connection to resources. And I'm connecting you now to Miss Leiann Davis. How you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm really excited to be back. I was really motivated after being on the first episode and just learning more about what your mission is, some of the things you just stated, the hope and resources and things like that. So I'm excited to be back to give people a little bit more information about health.
Yeah. And so tell me about mindset. So I know that when it comes to being an athlete, you were, and you still are, very fit, but you also competed too.
And yes, I did about 10 years ago, 12 years ago maybe. Yes, I competed in about 6 or 7 shows. Yeah,
and that's taking it to the next level, isn't it?
It is. It's. I wouldn't change it for anything. It was enlightening. You're pushed past what you think you are physically capable of, and sometimes there's a reward, sometimes there's not, which is good. You can't always win. You learn from your mistakes, and so not where I would do it now, but I still have a ton of friends that are stepping on stage. I've got a good friend who's been a bodybuilder for like maybe 30 plus years actually. He's stepping on the stage in a couple weeks in Vegas. So yeah.
So you talk about winning though, and I know that there's a lot of people competing, but not everybody gets a trophy or get the top trophy. But it is a mindset involved in that.
Absolutely.
And talking about mindset again, not winning the trophy doesn't mean that you don't win. There's always things you can learn, right?
Absolutely.
And push yourself to go further next time around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm listening to how you can apply that to fitness, because I can use some help with that too.
Well, competing, number one, it takes that commitment. Like we talked about several weeks ago. There's several things you have to do when you're going to really be consistent with your exercise program, and one of them is being confident, consistent, and committed. You cannot step on the stage if you're not committed. You can't cheat because your cheat shows.
Yeah.
You have to be disciplined. You have to make time. You've got a schedule. Make sure that is a part of your daily schedule. It takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Well, one of the things that you told me to be prepared for is to really be transparent.
Yes.
So I'm going to share something with you real quick. So before I was an athlete, growing up, I was very focused, had goals, woke up in the morning, did my routine, went to practice. I had a goal to really go to college on a scholarship. And sports was the way I was going to do it, sports and academics. So I had a clear goal, clear vision of what I wanted, and that dictated what I did with my time. And with most athletes, and you've probably seen a lot of athletes as your clients that you worked out, when you transition and you're no longer being an athlete, you find that, okay, well, I'm not getting paid. There's not this carrot at the end of the stick for me working out all the time. So losing the motivation of getting up and working out as hard as I used to work out is one of the challenges that I have, because I know I need to wake up and work out this morning, but then I go,
That is cozy.
yeah.
Well, you don't have to work out with the same intensity that you did when you were training for football, but you have to work out. That's just a given for everyone. That's like brushing your teeth, going to the doctor yearly, or getting checkups, or taking a bath. It is what you have to do. It doesn't have to be at that same level. I don't work out at the same level that I did when I'm competing. Competitions or your preparation is typically, 12 to 16 weeks. You're, focused, you're carrying around your meals, you're getting up early, you're doing extra cardio, that's for a period of time. So, and those last couple of weeks when you're right down to about to compete, it's actually, not, you're kind of overtrained, a little dehydrated. So that part of training is, or competing is not as healthy. It's not meant for the average person. And that's kind of beyond.
But I guess the average person should have goals, though.
Always.
They should have goals.
That's in workout, that's in business, that's in family, that's in relationships. We should all have goals.
So if someone's going to come to you because they look at you, they know you're a fitness person, they're inspired by the way you look. They say, man, I want to get fit like you, or whether guns. So whether it's a woman or whether it's a guy going, man, I'm embarrassed when I take off my shirt. I want to get like you. Whatever their motivation is, right?
Yeah.
How do you help them really get clear and specific on their goals?
Well, you kind of get a feel for the person when they come to you. So, some people, they've been watching their friends get healthy and they go, oh, I see you're losing all this weight. Now I want to do that. That's, probably number one goal is I need to lose weight. But for some people, it's just, I had a poor checkup and I've got to make some changes. Everyone is individual. It's very specific to whatever that person's needs are. No two people are the same, not in what you should be eating, how you should be training, how your body adapts. And that's something, as you move along your exercise journey, you have to be very aware of. Just because your accountability partner is approximately the same height and weight, but you guys are doing the same exercises and she loses more weight than you are, it's just we don't have the same makeup.
Yeah. So I can imagine no matter why people are coming to you, whether it's just I want to look better, or I had a bad checkup, I need to lose weight, or I want to get off this medication, I'm pre-diabetic, whatever the reasons are, there's always a process that you need to take them to, I guess, to get very specific and clear on their goal. Because they can start saying, hey, I want to do something. Like most people start in January, I want to work out, get ready for the summer. But then if they're not clear on their goal, or they don't have a compelling reason why, once they get tired and once they stay up too late and they got to meet you at 5:30 to work out, there has to be this reason why to get them to get up, right?
Well, as a trainer, I mean, there's, that's when they rely on you, obviously, to push them past a rough spot. A lot of times, people, when they've paid for your training or to train with you, they don't want to lose the money, so there's motivation. No, seriously, I don't pay. You don't pay me per session. You pay for all your training as far out as you'd like to pay it, but you're going to at least pay 2 months in advance. Right. That way, you are tied into them. We'll see how it really shows you how serious someone is when they start, if they're willing to commit this time and this money.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I want to get some knowledge from you now. Last time we talked, we talked about 4 or 5 things that people can do, right? Do you recall what those were?
I do. You forgot?
No, look, I got my notes, right? I got my notes. Mine is open book. So we can probably start with that. What are those 4 things? And then I would like to know, of those 4 things, given your experience with your clients, what are some of the common questions that you received and we talked about afterwards that will be very informational for people to have to keep that hope, inspiration, and education out there so they can start connecting with some resources and achieve their goals?
Okay, let's do this together. I think some of the things we talked about were, we actually talked about tips that you could do if you did not really, if you're wanting to get started, you may not have a trainer just yet.
Right.
So one of the things I suggested was an accountability partner, someone that you could meet at the gym, someone that you can meet outside at the track. You guys can walk the neighborhood, ride bikes, whatever it is. You have this person that you're accountable to. You guys schedule meet times, whatever time works the best for you, before work, after work, while your kids are at practice or whatever. You are accountable to each other to meet and be there for each other and to check on each other. I think that's a great one. And that's essentially what I am. I am an accountability coach for those that come to me for training. I think we talked about water.
Yeah.
People underestimate how important water is. Every teeny tiny little piece of your body and skin needs water.
Yes, we got our water.
Yeah, I got lots of it. I got you. And you will just feel so much better, and then it's hot outside, first of all, so you're always losing more moisture off your skin when it's hot outside, but then when you add in exercise, it's very easy to become dehydrated. You could severely hurt yourself. Your body starts to shut down, your organs do, when you're not hydrated, so not a good place to be when you're exercising, is dehydrated. So increasing your water, and an approximation for everyone is about 1 ounce per kilogram of body weight. So essentially, if someone weighs 150 pounds.
Thank you.
Should go to kilograms, divide by 2.2. So that person should roughly have no less than 75 ounces of water per day.
Okay, so it's half your body weight.
Essentially half your body.
Translation for all of y'all.
Before you work out. And then once you work out, you want 2 to 3 ounces every 15 minutes.
So that's more than half then, right?
Well, if you're exercising, yeah.
Because, half of your body weight is just the normal everyday stuff. But if you work out or do Bikram yoga.
On a minimum.
Right, you got to get
You
more.
really need to hydrate. If you do,
and
you
your
get just a lot of sweating.
Yeah. So, this is the month, right? This is my birthday month. Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah,
did we talk about that?
Yeah. And we talked about you doing Bikram yoga with me, too. So every month I can invite a guest.
Are you a Libra?
Yeah. I haven't invited a guest yet, so, this is the opportunity.
Yeah, I will be there. You tell me when. I'm there.
Okay, cool. So we got what is it? Accountability partner. We've got water, and what was the other one?
Increasing your rest.
Yeah, rest, sleep. You got to get your sleep.
Very important to, some of these things are common. Cutting off the TVs at night, turning down your air conditioning so that it's cooler. Make sure you're in a dark location.
Go to bed.
Don't look at your phone 2 hours before bed. I know it's tough because I fall asleep scrolling sometimes on Instagram. But we really should turn off our devices if you can. Set your TV, like if you like to watch TV when you're falling asleep, set the timer so it turns off so that it doesn't wake you up in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And that exercise will really help you release some of your stress. Your body, whatever your level that it releases stress hormones, we all have it. And if you don't have a release for it, there's a buildup, and exercise is probably the best way to relieve stress. So when you are less stressed and you are more hydrated, you rest better.
Okay.
Right?
Right. And then we said cut out some foods. And we'll talk about nutrition later, though.
Yes.
I want to get back to some of the specific questions. So number 1 was the accountability partner. And so whether you are working out with a trainer or whether you're not, you're by yourself, you got to look at who are you associating with. And you can find somebody to go shopping with. You can find somebody to watch Power or whatever TV show. You can find somebody to go to a happy hour, go to a game. But now it's important for you to find somebody that has like goals of getting healthy and fit, and then surrounding yourself with them. And so that is whether you have a personal trainer or not. So you being a personal trainer that is, you're being paid, you're going to be that inspiration. So if you don't know of anybody, you've got the money, pay. But even if you're paying, you want to make sure that they're not working out with you and then go hanging out, doing all this bad stuff.
Absolutely. They should be an example.
Exactly.
You have to practice what you preach. I'm very big on that. I definitely have been a part of some gyms or personal studios that you see people and you go, I don't know how that person has clients. Or, I know what that person has in the refrigerator in the back. But yeah, I mean, to each his own.
So one of the things you said is that you have some clients that you've been with for a very long time. And as you do that, you become friends.
Absolutely.
Right. And you start doing things maybe outside of work. How about this, though? Do you ever do things for all of your clients together, as an appreciation or some kind of just group event?
We have done that. We used to, a couple years ago, we would get together and do the turkey trot, 5Ks.
Okay.
We'd all get a T-shirt. We all, we're training and we're relying on each other and reporting to each other leading up to the turkey trot. And then we'd meet each other, outside in front of, where I actually started, the one in Fort Worth started right in front of my studio. So we would run together or try to at least keep up each other or find each other afterwards, take pictures, congratulate each other. It's really nice because you really build a good network of support outside of the gym when you're, hey, how fast did you run that mile? Or, everybody's watching each other's run keepers because it's reporting to Facebook and you can see what people are doing. And you say, oh, hey, my gym partner or the person I work out with or is at the gym when I'm there ran their mile in this time, so I better step my game up.
Yeah. So how about this? I know as a financial advisor, I used to do appreciation events. So we go together and I would go together to different events and things. And I remember that I would see like single clients that would be good, matches for either relationship or business or whatever. So networking. So have you ever connected any of your clients together for a business purpose or maybe for a relationship? Or
Absolutely. Let me tell you, I don't know that I would have made it through my past 20, 25 years had I not. You can ask me any question and I got a person to call for it. Yeah, absolutely. Travel agents, all types of insurance. What else? Doctors. I've got a couple of young ladies that are married to retired doctors. I have several doctors, and they never mind me asking.
Right.
Yeah.
So some of the benefits of working out with a personal trainer is associating with other people who have like goals.
Absolutely.
Other clients, sporting events and things of that nature, and then business can come out of those relationships, or other things can come out of those relationships. So along those lines, what would you recommend someone does when it comes to picking a personal trainer?
Well, in my situation, I've been very blessed that, I never really had to market myself because all of my business was a referral. And so like-minded people were coming into my studio. My studio was small, it's just myself. So we definitely had a very positive, wonderful, peaceful vibe, ebb and flow. Was really proud of that situation. I mean, I think overall I controlled the energy, but my clients add to it. So I was very fortunate to have that environment. I think referral is probably your best bet. Do you have any other friends that are going to trainers or had gone to trainers that you see that they had some success about, some success with? I think, most trainers nowadays would have a website. I would check out their website, see what they're a part of, their social media. I feel like nowadays most trainers would have some sort of video of them training, what their clients are doing. I think you could talk to several people, but also maybe schedule a little consultation time and see how you guys vibe together.
Right. Because I was just thinking about that when you said that, because have you ever had a client come to you and it just didn't work out?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so tell me about that.
Well,
not tell me about that, but what would you recommend if someone goes to a personal trainer and it doesn't work out? Would you encourage them to, what would you want them to do?
Well, I would, like for me, I require 30 days notice for cancellation. So I would just abide by whatever rules. And say, it's either time for us to part, or I've decided I'm not going to work out right now. I'm going to try something different. You're paying for it. You should always be able to be open and honest. Yeah.
And so my advice when I was a financial advisor and people would work with me, and sometimes, can you imagine people didn't really want to work with me?
Can't even imagine.
I can't understand that either. I just like, what? So, but that was okay. And I would tell people, even my clients who did work with me, I was okay if they met and worked with somebody else.
Sure.
Like I would tell them, look, I'm okay with open relationships, right?
That's
but I'm okay. I was confident. I said, go meet with somebody else, and if that person works well with you, work with them. But I'm pretty confident that of the value that I give. And after you go out and work with other people, then you'll see what other people are like, and you'll come back to me. So I was cool with that.
Yes.
I wasn't like, don't go talk to any other financial advisors. But I would also say this. I would also run into people who said, yeah, I worked with a financial advisor and had a bad experience, so I don't really believe in them. And so I think that applies to personal trainers as well. I would tell people to go out and date. So have you ever had a bad date?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you given up on dating? I hope you haven't.
Oh, this is a trick question.
I would say, unless you believe in love at first sight, right? Chances are you probably been out on more
Y'all,
than one
he
date.
is setting me up. He is setting me
Called
up.
a setup. But seriously though, it's like we've all had bad dates.
Absolutely.
But hopefully we haven't given up on dating.
Yes.
So if you had a bad experience with a personal trainer and it didn't work well with you, don't give up on all personal trainers. I would say keep going, keep looking, because there's a personal trainer that's out there that is going to click with you, right?
Absolutely.
Chemistry, right knowledge, and it's going to help you achieve your goals. So that's what.
Absolutely.
That was my setup.
That's going to be an after the show.
Yeah, and then you can tell me more about your dating experience, right? So
I plead the fifth.
So once you find the right person, the right trainer, tell me a little bit about that experience. What are some of the common questions? What would you say is the most popular question that someone has when it comes to working out with a personal trainer or just trying to get their fitness goals?
Well, I try not to give people too much information too quick, especially if they are not coming from other trainers. I mean, you get people in all sorts of places in their fitness journey. People have never worked out, had bad experiences. It's been a long time, former athletes. And I think I really just do my best to put them at ease. You have to take your time with people, give them workouts way below what you think they might be capable of doing, because sometimes you never know. And sometimes people don't always tell the truth about, when's the last time they worked out, or it can even be as simple as what they did the night before. If they had not eaten at all, or if they partied really hard. I mean, you have to really, I call them baby steps. So you just have to be really careful with where you start. A lot of people come in and they're fearful, so you try to put them at ease. You take your time. I try to let people know that obviously that it does not happen overnight. You have to be patient with it. You don't have to do it all at once. You mess up, don't beat yourself up. Yeah.
So part of it is, I remember working out. Let's say someone would be doing weights, and you're just trying to assess where they are. So you give them low weights. They're like, oh, this is nothing. I can do more. So
But are they doing it right?
That, and then how about this? But then they push themselves, but they don't know about the day after, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So really making sure that they don't overdo it. Like, oh yeah, I can do that, and then the next morning they cannot walk.
Exactly.
Or they can't straighten out their arm. They can't.
Right.
It's going to be like this for like 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So part of it is setting expectations, right? So what people can expect if they're working out with a personal trainer is taking it slow, giving them steps where they can see small successes.
Absolutely. And then your trainer should be pointing that out. Sometimes people don't realize, look, sometimes I'll hand people weight and they're not paying it. Most of the time they're not paying attention to what I hand them, but I'll hand them more weight, or when they walk away, I'll put more weight on and they don't catch it. And I go, see there, you know what, 2 weeks ago, you were only doing this and I slid that on. You didn't even know that.
Yeah.
See, mind over matter. So, but safety is huge as well. Yeah.
And then you take measurements and weights and all that stuff.
Baseline, always. We do. We try to weigh and measure once a month.
And so part of it then is that understanding what is progress. So you might take your weight, your measurements, and things of that nature. If someone wants to lose weight or lose size, a lot of it, because fat and muscle are different.
Very different.
And so really you might find that someone is accomplishing their goal by being healthier, but they are not losing weight because of the difference between the way of muscle and fat, right?
You don't always lose weight first. It's very common that you may put on a few pounds, especially the first month. It's just your body adapting. Your muscles do get more filled with water, and there's a period of time before you balance out your fluids that you start to release. And a lot of times, even still, that month 2, month 3, when you've lost 4 or 5 pounds, it still may only be water weight. You may not have lost body fat. Okay. Hopefully you have.
Right.
But, that it depends on your exercise, but that also depends on your diet. So other things that are very common that happen when you first start working, you could be exhausted, like really, really tired, but not long after, a couple of weeks in, you're going to start to feel energized from it. Believe it or not, exercise is a meal or a diet suppressant, appetite suppressant, excuse me.
But you were going to say aphrodisiac.
No. I'll leave that one alone. First it's the dating, now it's aphrodisiac.
I'm just like
you're showing out on your birthday month, huh? No, appetite suppressant. A lot of people they feel as though they do not. They're not very hungry, which is in some ways it's a good thing. But pretty soon that your diet, your metabolism will pick up, and you should be eating more. It's just more of the right things. Right. A lot more energy, better balance, better coordination, and you should be sleeping better. So there's a lot of things that come with those first couple of months of training consistently. Okay,
so speaking about that, so new circle, so you got a personal trainer, you're doing different things, so change your circle, get an accountability partner, someone to work out with you. Also, because you're working out, you want to make sure that you're watching what you're putting in your body.
Absolutely.
So definitely you got to drink more water, and then that leads to nutrition. So what kind of advice do you give people when it comes to nutrition, which was the fourth thing that we had talked about?
Decreasing something simple that I give people in the very beginning is that you want to increase your greens, and that if you could have greens at every meal, great.
Okay.
And as well as decreasing white, removing white bread, white rice, potatoes, sugar.
No French fries.
No, only on your cheat meal once a week. You can have that on a cheat meal.
On cheat meal, okay.
Right.
Can I have other things besides just fries?
You can have a burger.
Okay, cool.
If that's what you like, what do you have with your fries? Transparency now.
I know. Yeah, barbecue and a baked potato.
Right. So that's your one cheat meal a week, which I always encourage is, to relax and have a cheat meal, not a cheat day. A lot of people run with that cheat part, and I shouldn't even say cheat, but you should relax a little bit and allow yourself a little bit of a reward for eating consistently healthy all week long.
Okay. So just easy stuff, right? Easy stuff, being more mindful. So going back to in the very beginning and setting expectations, I know when people met with me and I was helping them with their budgets, and they didn't budget before, I didn't really want to put so much on them. I just wanted them to become more aware where they're spending their money. And then the key habit is saving. So I didn't tell them to save a lot. It's like, just start the habit of saving. If you're not saving anything, I don't care if it's $5 a month. So that goes back to how much weight you're lifting. But then it goes back to, I know a lot of times you would look at these TV shows and you see these isolated exercises that someone would do. So as a guy, I'm thinking, man, I want some more guns, I want some better pecs. So I want to do these complicated exercises. But you can overwork your muscles. So how do you figure out how many times a day, how many times a week do you work out? What do you focus on? Body parts? How do you figure that out for certain clients?
Well, someone that is more advanced, you could work out 5 or 6 days a week. You need at least 1 day of rest. For some people, that means training each body part twice a week. Usually, some people will do upper body, lower body, and then arms. I mean, there's a lot of different splits. For a beginner, I feel like total body twice a week is good, and then separately do your cardio if you're very much a beginner. There's a lot of variation.
So let's talk about that. So someone who's just beginning, you would say total body workout at least twice a week, not 3 days a week?
If you could do it 3 days a week, you could do it. That might be a lot for a beginner.
That's weights. Would it also include cardio on the day that you're doing weights?
Well, if you can do that, yes.
Okay.
But if you're new to weight training and you're new to exercise, you might choose to maybe go outside and walk 35 or 40 minutes with your accountability partner 3 times a week and do 2 days of weight training.
Okay. So let's say they're working out with you, and they might do the weight training with you to make sure they're doing things right. Do you recommend that they do anything on those off days?
They always have homework.
Okay,
always.
So give me some examples of homework.
And I'm always gonna ask every Monday morning. They already, right? That's right.
So give me some examples of the homework that you would have clients do that's outside of working out with you.
And my clients are really good in that. I've got a couple that they like to run, so I don't have to say anything to them about that on the weekends. So they'll run. Some of them have memberships, maybe at a country club membership, they may go up and do their cardio. I'll say, hey, send me a picture of that screen when you're done. Some of the ones that I don't trust as much. Right. You know who you are, KP.
Wow. Did you just use initials?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
No gender, though, right? So it could be anybody.
She knows who she is.
Wow, you dropped that.
She knows who she is. I have a couple of my clients, they meet and walk. Okay. So they'll walk the golf course, they take their dogs out. They're actually pretty active overall. I've got one young man who's had a ton of success. He actually is someone that is, he's kind of a camera ham, so he's on my my Instagram. You can see his before and after pic. But he's a story I tell over and over because he's had so much success with just seeing me twice a week and doing 2 days a week of cardio on his own and altering his diet. He went from eating any and everything bacon and butter wrapped to eating very clean. And now I've had to say, okay, only 1 day of running or else he's going to blow away. He's lost so much weight. He's very good about riding his bike or he'll run once a week.
Well, I talked to my Aunt Gloria. So Aunt Gloria, I'm giving you a shout out. West Covina, what's up?
That's right. You're from LA, right?
Right. So I was talking to my aunt last night. And we were talking about working out because my sister actually just started working out with a personal trainer.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
And my brother's always working out. So if you look at his Instagram page, he's always sweating at a gym somewhere at the YWCA. So when I was talking to my Aunt Gloria, she was saying she knew some lady who was just walking basically around her apartment and lost a lot of weight. But the primary reason she lost a lot of weight was her diet.
Absolutely.
So when it looks at workout and diet, what would you say the percentage is that really affects you achieving your goal? I know it's both, but is there one that's more important than the other?
I see that right there is two to me is very specific to your genetics, your makeup structure, your body type. Like I said, like this young man who's lost all this weight, he just doesn't have to do as much as other people. I mean, he has to weight train. And he has to do a little bit of cardio, but he essentially works out a total of 3 hours a week because even when he was doing 2 runs, he'd do 2 30-minute runs, run 3 miles each, and then he'd see me for, 50 minutes twice a week. Okay. So he's accomplished that by changing some of his diet, and it's just good balance. It really is. It just depends. I mean, it's huge. So diet is huge. I don't know if I guess I had to give it a number, maybe I'd say 60 to 70%.
Okay, diet is right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go back to the complexity of working out because a lot of times you have these Fitbits. I know when you're doing cardio, they talk about getting to some percentage of your heart rate. Is that really important? Does that make a difference?
It does. There are 2 types of training. Of course, nowadays you hear a lot of high intensity training like CrossFit and like Orange Theory, those types of places. They actually are based on a color chart in your heart rate, and optimal heart rate typically is orange on a heart rate chart. Right. But if you train at a higher intensity, those are exercises that you can't do for a very long time. So they're shorter periods of training, higher intensity. The benefit of that is that your metabolism burns many more hours beyond your workout than if you do a lower intensity of cardio. But lower intensity of cardio is okay. You should have a mix of both.
Because what I was going to ask you is that if you're working out doing cardio, and I was told that if you don't reach the right level of intensity, that's really not working for you.
That's not true.
Okay.
As long as you are working out beyond 20 minutes, you've got your heart rate up. That's great. That's great for your heart, your circulation, decreasing your stress. But that's when you reach your fat burning period. There's only so long you can do high intensity. If someone has the opportunity to get to the gym and they say, man, I only have 35, 40 minutes, do something short, high intensity. Get on the Stairmaster and really get after it. Run 2 miles and then try to get in a little bit of weights. But that's not every day that's going to be what you can do. You know what I mean? So, and not everybody's at that level. The young lady that's walking, that's probably what she had. She probably had no access to a gym. Her process is still working for her. It might have taken just a little longer, but it still worked for her.
So it's very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated.
No.
You don't need to get a Fitbit or a heart rate monitor.
No, because those things keep you accountable, and especially your
Do
heart
you
rate
get them
monitor.
or you don't get them?
Well, I wear an Apple Watch.
Okay.
I don't use it much, but I do have several of my clients that use them, and it keeps them mindful. And even if you're not thinking much about it, or maybe you've reached your goal, like this young man that has had a lot of success. Yeah. He does wear an Apple Watch as well, and he'll walk around at work and he'll go, man, I've already reached my 10,000 steps.
So back up. I have a problem with that.
What's that?
So all of a sudden, you walking at work is a workout.
It's not a workout, but it's activity.
That's like you saying one time, golf is not a workout; it's a sport. You remember
It's an activity. You are not being a couch potato. You are burning more calories.
Okay,
Playing golf is better than sitting on the couch.
But I'm just saying that walking and you watching, you getting a number of steps in by you getting up and walking around your office, which is the stuff that you would do already, this should not count towards working out.
It's activity. You burn more calories moving than you do sitting.
So I would give you credit for that, right? So
that's just facts. You don't have to give me credit for it.
It's not credit, but we're in agreement. Let's put it this way.
Okay.
We're in agreement. So I'm not disagreeing with you. Right. I am saying though that some people, if that's all they do and they don't go to a gym or they don't do anything else, but they think I just need to increase my activity around, but you were doing that without the little device. Right, you were going to work and walking around without.
When your watch chimes and taps you on your wrist and says, "Hey, you've made this many steps today," you go, "Yeah, next week I think I'm going to try to do 6,000 steps," and then 2-3 weeks I think, "Oh, maybe I'll try to get 10,000."
Small improvements,
short-term and long-term goals.
Got you.
Whatever motivates you. It's funny enough, I have this couple that I train, and he is very competitive, very hard on himself, and he wears the monitor and and that is what motivates him. Getting a better time or getting a further distance. His wife is the total opposite. She wears her Fitbit and all that other kind of stuff, and that is not her motivation at all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So on the workout side, it doesn't have to be that complicated. You don't have to always watch your monitor. You can do very simple things of walking around, just staying active. And
the good things about some of those watches is that you can log that into some of the software that's available now, and a lot of those that are set up to help you monitor your diet and you lose weight or monitor your daily intake of calories. And so a lot of times those watches will automatically upload your activity to the program, and that makes it easier. And you can keep that recording. You go say, oh gosh, like 2 weeks ago I only did this many steps this time, and now I'm already doing double that. 2-3 weeks later. I mean, it's for your goal setting. It's a little pat on the back. It's a reminder that you are getting better. You may not have lost that 5 pounds you thought you lost, but you took double the steps, or you ran double the distance, or you know what I mean. It's like a little mini trainer.
Little successes, step by step. I got you. How about this then? So since you talk about diet, what about this whole thing about how often you should eat throughout the day, portion sizes? So all of that is complicated to me. So how do you simplify that for your clients?
That's a tough one. I feel like that's a lot more in depth than you were talking about the working out, whether it's simple or not. This is the diet part is the harder part. You had some people who don't, most people that come to me do not eat in the morning when they first start. And I never want my clients to necessarily, be in a fasted state when we're working out, because, you increase the odds that you pass out or get lightheaded or that you just gas out and you can't complete your workout. So I always want you to eat in the morning before a workout. Portion is something that should be important for everyone, whether you're male or female. We never want to overeat. Sometimes people who don't eat very much throughout the day don't, or even when you do eat, if you feel hungry all the time, it might be that you are not hydrated. A lot of times when you are not hydrated, your body says, I need something, but your brain thinks it's food when you really need water. I still say to most of my clients, and what I've had the most success with most of my clients throughout my entire career, is starting your day with some carbohydrates and proteins. Then you have a snack, carbohydrates and protein for lunch. And after lunch, you start weaning off your starchy carbohydrates. Still have a little fruit. And then for dinner, I always encourage them to have 2 large servings of greens and a clean protein, salmon, chicken without the skin, filet, whatever you like.
So my challenge is this. I just eat. And there's probably some other people out there who just eat. You ask me where my money goes, I can tell you.
Uh-oh.
And I'm not saying that my money goes in all of the right places, but I track where my money goes, right? I know where it is. When it comes to what I put in my body.
That's where all your money's going?
well, I would say that's where too much of my money's going. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily like starches. I don't keep track of it as much as I do my money, which is probably one of the challenges that I'm having when it comes to nutrition.
I think you just put a light bulb.
Yeah. So is there an easy way of doing that? Because I have to show my clients when it comes to tracking and budgeting. Some people just do it by paper. Some people use an Excel worksheet. Some people use actual system. And even though I think automation is going to be perfect for everybody, like my daughter's an artist. She would not put it on a computer. She has to write it out because given her style, that works for her. So when it comes to being mindful of what you're putting in your body, how do you deal with clients who are different when it comes to their awareness of what they eat?
That is one of the other things that I have clients do in the very beginning. They don't have to do it the entire time, but at least for a good month or two, I like for them to food journal. So you can either handwrite it and be honest and do all of it.
You and I would have trouble.
Oh, I already know. I
really had an epiphany because when my clients would come to me and I would tell them about their budget and they're looking at me like they're crazy, like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, you should know where your money goes. Like, I don't do that. I didn't get that until my nutritionist told me, I want you to do a journal. And I was looking at her like she's crazy. Like, what? Like, write down. Is there an easy way of doing that? Like, can I just take a picture of what I eat?
No, because you want what we want for you to do is to see very clearly where your calories are coming from. So a lot of times I'll get clients who don't think that they are eating that poorly, but they're just, uneducated on what really is good for you and what isn't.
Yeah. So okay. So that's one of my
journal. And there's a lot of apps out there right now that will allow you to upload your calorie intake and everything.
I've used those.
Yeah.
Lose It is one of them, right? Yeah. What other ones have you used?
That's probably the one I recommend the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just deleted that app from
Wow. Wow.
Like, I don't use that.
You need some space.
I know, right? Back on which one can I delete?
Wow.
It tells you something, right?
Well, at least I'm glad you are being very transparent. I
would download that again.
Y'all don't even know. Once the first show was over and we were discussing. I'm about to put you on blast. Okay, you're right. We started, right away, I just kind of had some ideas because I knew I'd be back on the show. And when I got to talk to Clifton about it, I'm giving him all these ideas and things like that. And I was really pushing him to be transparent. He was like, transparent. So you're doing good. You're doing good.
Okay, cool. I am. So is there anything else that you think is very, very important when it comes to someone who has a goal of being healthier that they should do that has been a key to other clients' successes?
Consistency.
Okay.
Whether you screw up or not, it's consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have a bad week of food, or let's say you're planning for a wedding and you know that week of the wedding it's going to be really bad. Just know it. Try not to go way overboard, but as soon as the events are over, try to get right back on track. Don't beat yourself up for it.
And realize, like you said, don't beat yourself because perfection is not the goal.
Better is the goal.
Right.
Yeah. Just be better.
Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to think. What other questions would be good questions to ask?
Ask your trainer.
What now?
Ask your trainer.
Ask your trainer. Let's see. What questions? Let's see if anybody has asked me a question, because I got this whole thing that is live now.
Oh, Jesus.
What about reading labels?
Very, very, very important. I feel like a lot of people don't understand labels. Labels are very tricky. It's unfortunate what the FDA allows companies to get away with as far as labeling. It's very tricky. Like you can see products that are marked 50% less fat, than, but if their previous item was 95% fat and it's now only 50% fat, that's still not that good.
Yeah.
Or if you read a label on something that says no added sugar, doesn't mean that it doesn't still contain a lot of sugar. And sugar especially, you'll see a lot of things listed as, I'm losing my term, the way that the sugar is listed makes it seem as, that like you're not really getting the sugar, or have sugar and then a second name for the sugar, and it's like 7 grams here, but really it's
like
sugar and carbohydrates really still work in the body all the same.
Like you don't understand what that title is, right? Like, what is that? I've never heard of that before.
Well, it's just tricky. If you're not really knowledgeable, then you think you're eating healthier than what you really truly are, and that's unfortunate. So you have to learn to read a label. When you're looking at a label, it's very important to look at the serving, because the breakdown of the ingredients and nutrition on the back are based on the serving. So if you think you are purchasing a package of something that's this big, but a serving of it's only really this much, 2 or 3 crackers or whatever it is that you're eating, you need to understand that those servings on the back only are for this little portion of it, not the whole bag, like a snack bag, or, and I knew that they do have the snack bags that say 100 calorie, but it may be 100 calorie, but how much sugar is in it?
So do you cook?
Not a lot.
So you go out to eat, right?
No, I'm one of those people that I'm really okay with eating kind of the same things.
Oh, okay.
So my breakfast is typically a shake. I throw everything in it but the kitchen sink, chia seed, fruit, protein, collagen, almond butter.
Okay, so you kind of prepare a shake and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's quick and easy for me in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, or oatmeal. I have oatmeal, blueberries, same thing, almonds, chia seeds. I drink a lot of water with lemon in the morning.
So are you a vegan, vegetarian, or?
I'm not. I kind of have messed around with vegetarianism. And I wouldn't call that a fad. It's definitely a lot more popular, vegetarian and vegan, a lot more popular than it used to be. We also have a lot more options as far as those food, and a lot of those things now taste a lot better. Yeah. So I know a lot more people do it. But what I find with some vegetarians is that they think they can go bananas with the carbs, and it doesn't work that way. I know a lot of vegetarians that are still physically are not in that great a shape. Yeah.
Right. So what about this then? Because I know that when it comes to eating, I don't really, how can I say it? I don't really cook a lot. But when you go shopping, some basic things that people can do who are like me is shop around the outsides of the grocery store, because that's more natural. Whereas the aisles in between, you have more processed foods.
That's true.
Right? So that's one thing you can do. And then when you're going through the processed foods, something easy when you're reading the label, is there something that you should really look at? Should it be like the sodium content or the sugar content?
It's all important.
Is it a simple thing? I'm trying to simplify this for people like me. If you just reduce, like, get things that are low sodium or low sugar or low something, because they got a lot of labels there that is hard to understand.
Right. I suggest, because you can't really focus on just one thing. Obviously, if you're a person with blood pressure issues, then you should really be mindful of your sodium. But if you're a person who is diabetic, you have to be really mindful of where your sugars come from. Right. So you just have to be a good label reader. Most important things are the serving size, the calories per serving. Then you look at your macronutrients, which are your proteins, fats, and carbs. Depending on obviously something that contains nuts is going to have a higher fat value, but you have to understand that that's typically a better type of fat. Yeah. So it's okay for something that, they say you pick up a breakfast bar and it's got almonds and walnuts or whatever in it. It's going to have a higher fat content, which is good. It's going to be better energy for you. It's going to be longer lasting in your system, and it's not going to spike your insulin levels. Okay. you really just have to be a label reader. So you have to be mindful of your proteins, fats, and carbohydrates.
How do you read labels on YouTube? So.
Well, and the other thing that you really need to be mindful of is when you're looking at the label. If you go all the way down to the ingredients, and there's a ton of them, put it back on the shelf.
Okay. Or
if there's 5 of them and 3 of them you have no idea how to pronounce them, probably not the best. Look for things that are mostly natural. If it's, for instance, almond butter, let's just take that with the first ingredient. It's not almonds. That's probably not what you need. Yeah. So, and I'm going to work too. I'm actually going to relaunch my website here pretty soon, and I will specifically update the website and blog with some of the information from the questions that you're asking me, so we can ask people to visit my website here in a couple weeks.
So the reason I was asking about your whether you cook or not is because I have a friend who measured food, like portion sizes. Because when you go out to eat, they don't give you the normal portion size. They give, like, your entree is good enough for 2, maybe 3 people.
Yes.
So do you go out to eat, and when you do that, do you monitor the portion size somehow, or do you don't have to worry about that?
Well, yeah, no, everybody should be mindful of it. I think nowadays, I'm one of those people that I hate to waste. So if I'm going home, or if it's cool outside and I can leave my, half of what I've ordered in the car, I will do it. I try not to be wasteful, or I share a lot. My daughter and I go out and eat and share. I went out to lunch a couple days ago, and we shared lunch. So you can share your portions. You can do an open faced burger instead of a whole burger. Get rid of the bun. Split the side out. And like if it's something like fries and you just want a little taste of fries, split your fries. That helps. Portion is huge for everyone to me.
You got to make sure if you're with somebody that they're cool with sharing their food. Because some people are like, you should have ordered your stuff. Like, this is what I ordered. Order your stuff, right? Like, and I'm taking half of my stuff home, so it's not half of my stuff is not going with you.
I think we're getting some insight into Clifton today.
Like, I was like, hey,
you are being speaking of dating, you are being transparent. You see already.
I got some issues.
Yeah. I didn't say it. You said it.
But for people who have the surgery, if they're having trouble losing weight and they've had that surgery, they have to monitor their food intake.
Very much so.
Very much so. And so they were telling me that they would go out to eat, and initially they would ask for it to go back, and they would take half of their portion and they would put it in to go back, so it wouldn't be on the plate tempting them to eat it. So do you have any clients who've had that surgery?
Not currently, but I have had some in the past. Yeah, but you can still put on weight. I do know of, in fact, I had a group of nurses that actually all had the procedure done, and they would eat smaller portions, but they'd eat horribly. And we're still they didn't gain the amount of weight that they had lost, but they still put the weight back on, because you can, depending on what type of surgery you have. Some of them, it just supposedly cuts off parts of your stomach. So you
can't put that much in.
But your stomach can grow.
Can still stretch.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's on the other side of that. And also a lot of digestive issues with those surgeries. Obviously, if you are morbidly obese and or it's your health or lose weight, you need to get that procedure done. But there are things you have to be mindful of afterwards. Can you eat the same? I had a young lady who couldn't even take in water after she'd had a ton of success, and she lost a lot of weight, and she worked out so hard, but she would really struggle to, she would have to go to the restroom, and she would a lot of time throw up. She would throw up. She couldn't sip water. So she couldn't eat.
That was a byproduct of the surgery that wasn't anticipated.
That's right.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so speaking about this, so another thing that as a financial advisor, what we found is that we can identify all of these behaviors of saving, tracking your money, investing in a certain amount, doing it automatically so it's out of your paycheck before it comes in. Mm-hmm. So there's all these behaviors and activities that can lead to you being more mindful about your finances. Similarly, for your health, there's behaviors from a diet perspective, workout, getting your rest, drinking your water, doing those things, having goals. But for the most part, it's really behaviorally. So going back to mindset. So how do you do anything with your clients to specifically help them acquire new habits? In addition, like, consistency is one thing. Mm-hmm. So the more you do things from a neuroplasticity perspective of your brain, the more you do things, the more it creates those pathways. Mm-hmm. But do you do anything specifically to address the mindset with your clients besides the typical workout and meet me at this day? And
Well, I think we have a very open dialogue about diet, and just like I'm going to ask you about your exercise homework, I ask you what you ate, what you didn't eat, and for the most part, the people that I have, I know their weaknesses. Isn't that interesting?
I was kind of like, you want to ask me what? Like, you get all defensive.
No,
what you want to ask me?
And you know how you get in those situations. Well, first of all, that's your diet. You can't lie. If you're working out hard but you're gaining weight, you're lying to me. If you
Yeah,
can't
it's
really
obvious,
lie,
right? Like,
and a lot of them feel guilty, and they will tell you anyway.
Like you're making no progress. You're going in the opposite direction.
We have a lot of open dialogue. We talk about it, or ahead of time, or like I have one young lady that she and her husband leave almost every weekend and go either to the lake, or they go to big football games. Or big football fans, and which I know I've been to tons of football games when my daughter was a cheerleader.
Ain't nothing good there to eat.
There really isn't. So it's like you try to eat before you go, and drink water, and I mean, there's just, you have the burger, but take the bun home. Like I said, little things like that, we talk about it. If you're going to go Mexican food, try to have a little chips, a little salsa, and maybe do a salad as opposed to enchiladas full of cream sauce and cheese.
Okay.
Little things.
So we got some questions here. Mm-hmm. So one is, so there's someone saying great conversation, something we need to talk about. So we're on the right page.
Thank you.
What about organic food? And what is organic versus non-organic food?
Well, organic has to do with where it's grown, and supposedly these items are being grown in areas where they are not using pesticides or certain things that the FDA and says they are not using this in the process of growing these items.
So it's more natural.
Yes. Right? Unfortunately, sometimes there's pollution everywhere, and it does settle.
You can't avoid that, huh?
Yeah. So organic food sometimes is really expensive, depending. Every now and then I like to shop at Central Market, but every now and then I'll catch their organic foods marked a little cheaper than their non-organic.
And
foods.
organic food don't look as good. So
it will not last it long.
If you see something like a perfect apple and it's shiny, that's probably not organic.
Yeah, and you know what the other trend that I see is everything's seedless. Yeah. Where did it come from if it's seedless, if it's grown?
That's interesting.
Yeah, so be mindful of that.
Yeah.
A lot of seedless watermelon, seedless grapes. But yeah, so it unfortunately is more expensive. If it's something that you're eating the skin on, you want to make sure if you can afford organic that you get it. If not, you're really scrubbing it. But it's just like with us, anything you're putting on your skin, it can be absorbed. So that would work its way into that vegetable or fruit.
So organic is probably the best choice if you want to get rid of pesticides and things of that nature, but it's more expensive.
It is more expensive.
But it may be healthier for you, but you can't avoid everything because there's pollution in the air, in the water.
Absolutely.
So back in the day where our fruits and plants grown from the ground were more pure. So with that being said, what are your thoughts about detoxing?
I do believe it in some instances. Like if it's a situation where you are trying to clear your gut health is very important. That's another situation where taking in organic foods, is healthier for your gut. A lot of people don't know that your metabolism and your immune system lie in your gut. I know you probably hear a lot of things about probiotics and prebiotics and things like that. It's very important to have a healthy gut. I'm sorry, repeat your question.
So what about the detoxing?
Detoxing.
Do you recommend that? How do you do it? What are your thoughts?
Oh man, gosh, there are so many different types of detoxes. You can go to any health food store. There's liver cleanses and colon cleanse. I mean, there's just all types of things. But it is not something that is meant for permanent weight loss.
Okay.
Will it help you maybe clear your gut? Will it help you, I don't know, rehydrate? Think a little clearer. Yes, all those things might happen, but that is not a permanent way to lose weight. It's a good way to maybe jumpstart your process in losing weight, and you will feel better, but it's not something you live by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've gone a little bit deeper on the 4 things, right? Which is having a goal. That's goal number 1. You got to have a goal, specific goal that inspires you, that motivates you, and that's in front of you all the time. And maybe even a vision board. Do you recommend that clients have vision boards of their health goals and things of that nature?
I always encourage people to write things down. I'm not a big vision board person. I got my vision board as always. As we were talking this morning, I was telling him that I'm sometimes an overthinker. And he goes, I don't want to believe in overthinking, but just always thinking person. So my ideas are always kind of running in my brain. But I'm a fan of writing things down. I don't, I keep a daily calendar, but it's handwritten. I don't do a calendar on the phone or my watch or whatever. So I'm a big write it down.
Okay. So write it down, but you have to have a goal, right?
Always.
And then have an accountability partner.
Absolutely.
Get some water. Cut out the sugar and the whites.
Starch.
Right, starch. And then get some rest.
Absolutely.
The basic stuff.
Goals.
Right?
Yeah.
And movement is lotion. So find a personal trainer, work out, do something, wake up, stretch, whatever that might be.
And people, yes, that is it's so important. When you're working out, you must stretch. No matter what we do, we all get tighter as we get older. You lose flexibility. You can't exercise as well. You can injure yourself more. Flexibility is a huge part of staying healthy. So I'm glad you do your yoga.
So hopefully we've given people hope.
Absolutely.
You know, the look of you is inspiration, right? Education, we've been dropping some knowledge in education today. Connection to resources. So you said you're launching your new website? I
am. I am working on launching a new website where there will be lots of blogs included about fitness tips, about motivational things. I need everyone to know that the information that I provide is for males and females. I train just as many males as I do females. It's not separate. I mean, there's maybe a few things that may be slightly different, but my information is for males and females. And some updates on some of the other things that I have going on, some motivational stuff, some beauty stuff, some fashion, fitness.
So how do they connect with you? So this is where they need to know if they want to connect with you for additional resources. How do they do that?
I am on both Facebook and Instagram. Those are probably the easiest two places to catch me. You can DM me and or follow me, hopefully, at Leiann Davis Fitness or at Zone Fitness on Instagram. The same names on Facebook. My personal page on Facebook, unfortunately, is full. So I would love for anyone that's interested in following to go over to the Zone Fitness page and follow me there. And as well as the website will be launched before October 1, and it is zonefitstudio.com.
Okay, zonefitstudio.com. Don't let this be the last time.
Absolutely not.
So connected. So, our hour is over now. We reached the end. I know. But this is not the end. This is just the beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
Clifton and I have some things up our sleeve.
Yes. So I would say you stay connected because there's a lot of things happening this month. Yes. We're talking about food. So on September 17th, we're going to talk about solutions to food deserts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Highland Hills Library, so it's going to be a lot of knowledge on
part
food.
Of that.
Definitely come.
Tomorrow?
The 17th, that's Tuesday evening.
Tuesday.
So it's
I'll be there.
From 6 to 8, so it's in the evening. I'm going to be in Houston, so if you know anybody in Houston, tell them to come to the Houston Area Urban League. We'll be there from 10 to 12 talking about life insurance. We'll be back here in Dallas on the 20th and 21st talking about life insurance, so come out, be educated. Go to our website, www.empowerseries.com, get engaged. North Texas Giving Day is the 19th, so support your nonprofits. You want to support us, there's ways you can give. Also, Kroger, we're on the Kroger program, the Kroger Rewards, Community Rewards Program. So if you shop at Kroger and you have your little key, you can go log on and then enroll, or you search for Empower Series, attach that to your Kroger card, and anytime you use a Kroger card, Kroger would make a donation to the Empower Series on a quarterly basis.
Nice.
So I would say any nonprofit that you're interested in, because I'm really an advocate of helping nonprofits. Nonprofits do a lot of work. We do it with very limited resources. Yeah. But if there's a way you can go through your regular day and partner with your company to make a donation to a nonprofit that you're a part of, I would say explore that. So we're a part of Amazon Smile, support, and a lot of other nonprofits are as well. So don't let this be, if you don't have any money in your pocket, you spend it on something.
Said the financial advisor.
And stay healthy. So hopefully this
100%.
This is giving you hope, inspiration, education, connection to resources, and you can achieve your goal. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. So thank you again for being a guest.
Thank you for having me. What a pleasure.
Thank you for spending the time with us, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Peace.